From Nashville, Tennessee, it's the Heart and Home Holiday Show with Jonnie W. Tonight's guests are Lori Beretta, Davy Shepard, comedian Brian Bates, and the one and only Santa Claus. Musical guests Dez Duron and Nightly. And here's your host, Jonnie W.
Thanks very much. How are we doing? All right. Thanks so much for being here. Welcome to the Heart and Home Holiday Special. I'm your host, Jonnie W. We got a great show for you. You guys excited? Everybody good? We are having a great time. I will say this, it's getting a little chilly now, and that means it's time for the hoodie and shorts guy. You've seen this guy? Hoodie and shorts. If you're here and you're in a hoodie and shorts, hey, nothing but respect for you. That's fine, okay? Listen, it's the other guy, his ugly cousin, that bugs me. That's heavy coat shorts guy. That's a mental illness, and we all know it. You've seen this guy shivering at the gas pump thinking, I gotta get a heavier coat. Put on some pants. Put on pants. It's over, okay? But I don't know, man. Something about me during the pandemic. It's been a long year for everybody, I know that, but a lot of people gained weight. I actually lost weight during the pandemic. I lost about 60 pounds. I'm pretty proud of that. 60 pounds. Feeling pretty good. Thank you for clapping. I will gain it back. I've proven it. I will. I do all the diets, y'all. I did the yo-yo diet. I'm a yo-yo dieter. Everybody do the yo. I do them all, y'all. I did the food pyramid diet. Remember that? They taught us that when we were kids, the food pyramid. You take from your grains and your dairy and your... We know dairy's not good for us as adults, but I was taking advantage, y'all. I was going to Chick-fil-A, drinking them milkshakes. Boom, dairy group. That's right. Then you pull up to Chick-fil-A that one fateful day that we all know. You pull up. It's not just the prices on the menu board, it's the calories now staring at you. Your favorite menu item, now you know how much it's making you fat. It's like your move, pal. You're like, I don't like it. Because it turns out, y'all, these milkshakes I had been drinking were 1,300 calories in a drink. Y'all, it was all I could do to finish the second one. These things, they're thick, you know. But it's cool, man. And I grew up, I love Christmas time. My mom, I grew up very puritanical. My mom was a little bit on the legalistic side. She, but I could not wait. I found out in 10th grade that a lot of things we were practicing in our home, as Christmas traditions in our Christian home were like based on like pagan rituals. I was like, whatever, redeem the culture, whatever. But I could not wait to bust my mom. I came running home, Mom, do you even know why we have a Christmas tree? Okay. She was like, Jesus was crucified on a tree. And that's why now we have one in our living room. I was like, she was ready for me. I was like, what about the lights? What about the lights on the tree? She's like, well, he's the light of the world, Jonnie. He's the light of the world. I was like, okay, lady. I was like, what about presents? She was like, well, the wise men, they gave Jesus gifts, and now okay. What about wreaths on the doors and window? What's that all about? She's like, all right, you got me. That one is witchcraft. So I knew then that our lives would never be the same. But it's cool, though. I am excited, though. I have my church. I've been getting more involved in my church, y'all, because of the pandemic. I'm not traveling as much. So now it's like time to get plugged in. We started working in the nursery, y'all. Anybody ever work in your nursery at your church? You got to do it, y'all. It's the best because these babies cannot rat you out if it all goes wrong. They can't. You come back after church, I hand you a crying baby. It's like, look, maybe I dropped him. Maybe he's a brat. Like, you don't get to judge me. This is the Lord's house, okay? And we're a sticker church, putting stickers on the kids. A lot of daycares do this now. It's like a security thing. I didn't know what it was. We're tagging these kids like they're in the wild. It's weird. Like it's a nature study. Sprinkle out some goldfish crackers and track their movements. It's creepy. My pastor had to explain to me, Jonnie, it's a security thing. It's got the kid's name on the sticker, a code at the bottom. Parent gets a piece of paper with the same code. They come back after church to claim their child like it's a coat check or a raffle. Wonderful. And parents lose that piece of paper at my church. They do. I don't know what your policies are in your church, but I don't put up with that mess in my nursery. You come back without that piece of paper, I'm like, I'm sorry. We're keeping him, okay? He works for Jesus now. All right, you knew the risks. They're like, you know me, that's my son. I just dropped him off. I'm like, sir, look, without the receipt, okay? The best I can do is store credit. And then I let him pick out a child of equal or lesser value. So we give out so many redheads, y'all. It's unbelievable. I feel like that hurts some people's feelings. It's okay. I'm okay with it. My wife and I don't have kids. That's true about us. So we've been married. We've just passed 26 years of marriage. I'm very proud of that. 26 years. And appreciate that. Not in a row, but it's complicated. And But it is, we don't have kids. We've been praying about it. A lot of people in my church have been adopting. We're like, maybe that's for us. We just finalized the process. We're going to be adopting next year. So that's pretty cool. Very exciting time. Very good. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We are adopting a highway. And it just feels good to give back. No, I don't know, man. I have a lot of respect for parents. I don't know if I'm ready. You know, I got a little nephew, Josh. He's 5. He gets dropped off at my house all the time. My brother needs a break, a date night. Please watch him. I'm like, okay, man. But I only have 2 rules he gives me as an uncle. Like, don't be creepy, keep him alive. That is it, you know? That second one's hard, y'all. He's into stuff. Anybody have a mischievous child? You know what I'm talking about? Here's how you can tell if your child's mischievous, like my nephew Josh. If your child smiles and it causes strangers to be like, well, he is precious. But when you see that same smile, you're like, oh no. He has put the cat in the dryer again. And that's Josh. He's into stuff all the time. The other day, he's in the yard playing with the neighbor kids. I'm watching him like a good uncle, you know, from the second-story window. You know, I look down. He's gone in my tool shed. He brings back a can of gold spray paint. I'm like, oh, boy, here we go. But it's got the child-safe lid. I'm feeling fine. Till one of his friends goes into his dad's tool shed, brings back a hammer. I see him motion to Josh, hit it with this. You know, now, if I'm a parent, I run down there and put a stop to that immediately. You know, but I'm an uncle. So I was like, let's see what happens, you know. Y'all, he hit that can. He was instantly gold. It's amazing how fast a person can become gold. He was so shiny. And that's when I knew I'm not ready. I'm supposed to comfort him. He comes in all upset. I'm like, get up here, buddy. You're okay. I would like to thank the Academy. Are you guys ready for a great show? We got a great show for you tonight. We got so many great guests. Knightley is here. We'll be right back.
Heart failure is a monster. Each year, it hospitalizes more patients than all types of cancer combined. 6.5 million adults in the United States have heart failure, a disease that impacts your heart's ability to effectively pump blood throughout your body. Tragically, it's a progressive disease, and there is no cure. Because only 3% of hospitals treat advanced heart failure, most patients travel to receive care. Patients battling advanced heart failure are stressed, scared, and far from home. The only hope for survival in end-stage heart failure is a heart transplant or a VAD. Although 250,000 patients suffer the debilitating effects of advanced heart failure annually, only 2,000 heart transplants are performed each year. The VAD, or ventricular assist device, is a surgically implanted mechanical pump that helps circulate blood to the rest of the body. VADs dramatically increase survival rates and quality of life. But because they're an imperfect therapy, patients and caregivers spend many months away from their home and community. There are so many expenses insurance doesn't cover. So we established the Joe Beretta Foundation to meet the practical needs of advanced heart failure patients and their families. We provide emergency housing, emotional support, and stability in crisis, so patients can say yes to life-saving treatments. If no one steps in to help, story after story will end in tragedy. Together, we have an opportunity to change a family forever. Since our inception, we've assisted 750-plus individuals, provided more than 2,100 nights of stay, and prevented 90-plus families from making the impossible choice between medical homelessness and hospice. We're continuing to fight because the need is big and the stakes are high. Will you stand in the gap with us?
Welcome back, everybody. It's time for everybody's favorite news segment, This Can't Be Real. All right, our top stories tonight. An Australian woman legally married a 600-year-old stone bridge in France. She'd reportedly just ended a relationship with a drawbridge after a short separation. A woman in China raised what she thought was a dog for 2 years before realizing it was actually a bear. When she discovered the error, she rushed home to tell her husband of 8 years before realizing that he was also a bear. An Australian woman legally married a 600-year-old stone bridge in France. If this doesn't work out, how will she ever get over it? This week, researchers discovered a chemical in the McDonald's McRib sandwich also used to make exercise mats. When asked to comment, people who eat McRib said, "What is an exercise mat?" A University of Georgia student was attacked last week by a female mime. It's an amazing story because who has ever heard of a silent woman? That's our show. I'm just kidding. An Australian woman legally married a 600-year-old stone bridge in France. Her last marriage was suspended. The Legoland amusement park in Florida was hit last week by a Category 4 hurricane. The damage was estimated to be about 1 million square blocks. An Australian woman legally married a 600-year-old stone bridge in France. I really hope it lasts. Divorce can really take a toll on a person. That's the news. We'll be right back.
Watching in the Pittsburgh area or just looking for your next getaway? We'd love to have you join us for our second annual Hopeful Hearts Valentines Gala at the Omni William Penn in downtown Pittsburgh, PA. Join us for an evening of fine dining and great music from powerhouse band No Bad Juju for a wonderful night with your Valentine, all while supporting a great cause. Head over to the events page at tjbf.org to get your tickets. Want to make it a gift? Gift certificates are available now.
The Heart and Home Holiday Show is not sponsored by Christmas Drum Sets. Want to show your nephew you love him while also punishing his parents for the next 2 to 3 years? Buy a Christmas drum set.
Thanks for coming back. My first guest is coming to us all the way from the North Pole. You know him, you love him. Please welcome Santa Claus. It is such an honor to have you. I am such a big fan. And I know this is your busy time of year.
It is quite a busy time. And you know, just like everybody else, we're having some trouble with the help.
Really?
Yeah, several of the elves during COVID opened their own Etsy stores.
Oh, that's a shame to see that happening. Wow. And I got to tell you, you're not quite as fat as I thought you'd be.
Oh, well, me and Rudolph took to jogging during COVID.
No, really?
I actually lost
You
a little
lost
bit.
weight. Well,
yeah.
get
But
some
it's
milk.
all right. It's all right. The milk and cookies are coming.
That's good. That's good to know. Now, listen, I hear that you see us when we're sleeping. You know when we're awake.
Well, yeah, I'm always watching.
That's not creepy to you.
Well, not any creepier than Amazon Alexa.
It's a solid point. Now, I know that you recently had a chance to spread some Christmas cheer to a very special person.
We had an awesome time. The Beretta Foundation and several of our partners were able to spread some Christmas cheer. It was really an awesome time.
It's so cool. And I want to show a clip. We actually have a clip of that. So let's go to that clip now.
Alice and her daughter, Tawana, have been away from their home for over a year. And after a year of not being able to work and having her daughter constantly in and out of the hospital, you start to feel, well, not human. The Joe Beretta Foundation called me, and thanks to our partners, we were able to surprise them with a night they won't soon forget.
Oh, Miss Alice, how are you? It's so good to see you. You know, I'm always watching. I'm watching for the good boys and good girls. And I know that you've been taking such good care of Tawana. And I've talked to some of my friends. And my friends at Dillard's have put a package together for you. And my friends here at Aquabella have decided to make you queen for the night. So if you'll head right this way, they're gonna take care of you and pamper you the rest of this evening.
Dillard's is proud to be able to offer a curated self-care package for community members like Miss Alice and Tawana, just to give them love and support.
I'm Alice Patterson, and I'm from Holly Springs, Mississippi. We haven't been able to go home in a total of really 3 years. She had 2 open heart surgery, and he did the second open heart surgery, placed it with a mechanical valve, and he said it went well, but it didn't fix the heart. Said that if she didn't get a heart, she would die. And she received a heart in about 6 days. We've been in Nashville ever since September the 15th, really, of 2020. And we haven't been home yet. The Joe Beretta Foundation has really been a blessing. I haven't been able to work, no income, So please, if you can help a family, and I don't even know if my daughter will be doing as good as she is. If I had to worry about trying to pay all of everything, I wouldn't be able to do it. I would say, please, if any way possible, support the Joe Beretta Foundation, because they are helping people like me, people who really need help.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So great. What a lovely video. And before you go, do you mind if we play a little game?
I love games.
All right,
as long
great.
as they're not reindeer games.
That's true. Okay, no reindeer games, I promise. So we've got some packages there at your feet. Now, I want to play a game. I've got mental powers. I'm a comedian, but I'm more than that. And so I am going to surmise what is in each one of those boxes. I used to be able to shake presents. When I was a kid, I would shake the present. You'd know what was in it. Kids do that. But even now, I can tell what is in those boxes just by holding it up.
Without opening the box.
Without opening the box. You ready?
Let's
give it a shot.
I am ready to
This
be
is a game that
amazed.
we're going to call Joke in the Box. All right, so let's start. Here we go. All right, first one. Let's see. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
That's what I said. What's the most annoying thing you can yell at a car show? Spoiler alert, that's what's happening. Goodwill hunting.
Goodwill hunting.
Describe my last-minute Christmas shopping. Ham it up, Santa. Give me this. Ready? Here we go. Spring forward, fall back.
Spring forward, fall back.
Describe the way you broke your hip on a trampoline. We're getting good here. Here we go. Ready? It's not my first rodeo.
Not his first rodeo.
Right. What's a great thing to say at your second rodeo? January 6th.
January 6th.
It's going to get political. Jeez. Name the day that your niece will return that awful sweater you got her. Last one. All right. Nickelback and me auditioning for my church Christmas play.
Nickelback. And you're auditioning for the church play.
Right. List people who never made it as a wise man. Give another hand to Santa Claus. He's been a great guest. Stick around. We'll be right back.
The Joe Beretta Foundation is proud to announce its newest collaboration with Allegheny General Hospital, a part of the Allegheny Health Network. The JBF looks forward to serving patients and families at AHN starting this Christmas season and moving forward. Be sure to check out our silent auction. Whether you're looking for a unique experience or an awesome trip, we've surely got you covered. All bids close Christmas Eve. Head over to the events page at tjbf.org to get your bid in now.
The Heart and Home Holiday Show is not sponsored by Christmas Cookie Tins. The cookies are gone. This is where your mom keeps her sewing stuff now.
Welcome back. My next guest is the founder and president of the board for the Joe Beretta Foundation. Please welcome Lillian Beretta. Thanks so much for being here. This is such a great event, and I've got to know your family a little bit. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your family and about the Joe Beretta Foundation?
Sure. So my family is myself, and I was married to Joe Beretta, who you were very lucky to know. And we have two children, Joe, who's in the Nightly Band, and Gabrielle Beretta Shepherd, who's married to Davy Shepherd. And our story really is, it could be anybody's story. It could be your story really easily. It was a story of two people fell in love. We're married a long time. We were married 32 years. And my husband used to say the best 10 years of his life. And that would be Joe in a nutshell. You know, he was a very smart man, a very funny guy, just a real, and I know everybody uses this term, but with Joe, it really was the truth. He was a real Renaissance man. He was into hydroponics and built his own hydroponic system. I mean, who does that? We had that in our home. We had a greenhouse with hydroponics, and we raised great kids, and we raised grapes, and we made wine. And so he really was a Renaissance man, and we had a very interesting and exciting life together. And we moved to Tennessee because our family was here. Part of our family was in New Jersey, and part of our family was in Tennessee, and we felt it was important to come here. And so glad we did, so very, very glad we did. But when we came here, he all of a sudden wasn't feeling good, and he was a very big, strong, tall Italian guy. Just imagine, put that image in your head, and really that's who Joe was, except he was a really smart, bald, big Italian guy. So, and he just out of nowhere started having these weird symptoms. His ankle swelled up, and he had had an old football injury, so we thought it was that, and we went to the doctor for that, and nope, everything was good. And before you knew it, he was in kind of big trouble because he couldn't walk from this couch to you, and he couldn't breathe, you know. So we knew something major was going on. We went to Centennial Hospital, who at that time did not have the program that he needed. They do now. I mean, thank God, you know. And we ended up at Vanderbilt Hospital, and we found out he was in end-stage heart failure. And heart failure is a progressive disease. Once you have it, there's no cure for heart failure, right? And only 3% of the hospitals that are able to do these very extreme surgeries and complex implants and heart transplant, only 3 to 5% of the hospitals in all of the United States can do these things. So we were very grateful that we were here in Nashville with Vanderbilt, which is world-renowned, at the top of the field when it comes to VAD implant and, to be honest, with heart transplant too. So, you know, we went from this very, we had this dream of what our life was going to be here, just like you know, you get married and you have these dreams and you think it's going to end this certain way, and you don't think you have time for illness, you don't think you have time for hospital visits, and all of a sudden, there you are.
Right. Life's what happens when you're making other plans, right?
Yeah. So we were, you know, in the hospital, and with end-stage heart failure, you know, you're not in the hospital for a week and then you go home. You're in the hospital 4 weeks, and you go home 2 days, and maybe then all of a sudden you're back in the hospital and you're there for another 3 weeks. And then with Joe, he had a VAD, which is a ventricular assist device. And part of it is inside you, connected to your left ventricle, and part of it comes outside of you. And he had batteries, and we plugged them in at night, and but he did great. I mean, and all the help we received at Vanderbilt was top notch. I mean, just amazing experience there, and at Centennial too, an amazing experience of help. But while we were there, and this is, I don't want to preempt your questions, but while we were there, the reason we started the Joe Beretta Foundation is because of what we saw there.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Like, what kind of lit that fire of like wanting to walk alongside other families the way you're doing now?
Mm-hmm. So when we were in the hospital, we noticed that our room was very different than the other rooms around us. In Vanderbilt, there are long, clear glass hallways, and there's a little curtain. That's how you have privacy. But you can't walk down the hall and not see what's happening. And we noticed that, our room had life, and we had food. I mean, we're Spanish and Italian. So you can imagine, I was worried about ants in our room. I had a little drink bar set up. I mean, there was no alcohol, but
it's all inclusive.
I was doing my thing, and we had an unusual situation because we had family here, because we had support here. We had friends in the room, we had laughter, even though you find laughter in horrific situations, right? Because we tried to do that. So that's what we did. We had laughter in our room, and we had food in our room, and you'd walk down these long halls, and I'm not kidding you when I say this. You felt the isolation, and you felt the weight when you're walking down the hall, and that impacted our family. Because that's not who we are. We have life, So when we started noticing that, we just started asking questions. We asked our nurses, well, where's the other family? And where's the other friends? And why is that family by themselves? And that's when we found out that our situation was unique because we live in Nashville.
Right.
And these other families were required to come in because there's only 3 to 5% of the hospitals that do these types of procedures. They're coming in from, different parts of the state, surrounding states. And we also found out, sometimes you might have a hospital that does the procedure near you, but your insurance makes you go to another city. So that was the reason why. We saw the isolation, we saw the weight and the sadness, and we have great faith in our family, and that wasn't acceptable to us, that would be something that would continue for other families. We said no, we were going to do something.
That's fantastic. And so, and we're going to learn more from Davey about what you guys do and how we can help, but it's just so great to hear just a small part of your story, and that Joe's name lives on through this foundation and through the care that you provide. And that you get to put your arms around other families. It's just wonderful. Thanks so much for being here tonight. Let's give another hand to Lillian. She's fantastic. We're actually going to hear a Christmas song right now, if you'd like. That sound good, everybody? You guys want to hear a Christmas song? This is Lillian's son is in a band called Nightly. They're our house band tonight. So let's hear a song from the band Nightly, everybody.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. troubles will be miles away. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now.
We're thrilled to name Marla Cochran as this year's Pete Huttlinger Volunteer of the Year. Marla goes above and beyond in every area and has played an integral role in the planning and execution of our events in both Nashville and Pittsburgh. We're grateful for her commitment to service, can-do approach, and spirit of excellence. It's an honor and privilege to induct Gloria Andriozzi into the Joe Beretta Foundation Circle of Honor, our highest distinction awarded for contributions so extraordinary they result in a significant shift forward for the foundation. Each and every patient served in Pittsburgh has Gloria to thank for the help they received. Gloria is primarily responsible for our expansion into Pittsburgh and remains the driving force behind our work there. Her passion, attention to detail, and incredible follow-through has served to create a blueprint for expanding our reach, and the number of lives she's impacted is innumerable. Congratulations to our 2021 awardees, and thank you for the gift of your partnership.
The Heart and Home Holiday Show is not sponsored by Elon Musk, a new fragrance. When you want to smell like money and oblivious tweets, splash on some Elon Musk, now available at Walgreens and CVS.
Welcome back, everybody. Our next guest is a talented comedian from right here in Nashville. He just made his Opry debut. His CD, Easy Out, is available on iTunes. Welcome the very funny Mr. Brian Bates.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I just turned 50 years old, so yeah. Yeah, not as exciting. I get it. I went to the mailbox to get my birthday cards, and it was all AARP, and I've already gotten calls from retirement communities, so that's what I got to look forward to. But look, I got a late start. I got married for the first time at 48, so how about that? I don't want to preach, but let me just share. Look, when you get married at 48, you've been through some tough relationships. A lot of dating that you just don't know. Like, is she the one? Is she the one? I just don't know. I don't know. But anyone here, let me just tell you, God knows what's best for you. And if you know, you know. And I remember 4 years ago going on a first date with this young woman. I didn't even have much hopes, but I left that night knowing she was the one. And I called my mom and I said, I've found her. I met the girl of my dreams and I'm going to marry her. Now, I never saw that woman again, but pretty soon my wife came along. My point is, God put someone in your life to help you get through struggles. So my wife helped me get over the girl of my dreams. So I say thank you, Lord, for that. You know, what was really excited about me getting married was my church, because they didn't know what Sunday school class to put me in. I go to a big church, there's all kinds of classes for all types of different backgrounds. Not for a 48-year-old single man. They were stumped. They didn't know what to do. They're like, we can't put him in the youth group. Divorcees? No, he's never been married. Widows and widowers? No, he's literally never been married. Young professionals? Nope. This guy's not young or professional. I'm not qualified to teach a class. I volunteered to help out in the nursery, but that got shot down pretty fast. My church was finally like, look, we don't normally suggest this, but why don't you just go home? Just read your Bible, and we'll text you if there's anything you need to know. But then my buddies from church said, man, you got to be careful because now women will find you more attractive. I was like, what? They're like, yeah, man, it's true. It's a turn on to them. They see that wedding band in your hand. It's a challenge to them. So you got to watch out. You got to be careful. And I'm like, you're crazy. They're like, no, man, it's true. I did not believe them, folks. I did not. But sure enough, I was right. It has not been a problem at all. God has covered me in more protection than I asked. He has really looked out for me. My wife and I, we actually reconnected. This is true. We reconnected after 11 years of dating. We dated earlier, then we got back together. We reconnected on Match. And look, I've been on all the dating sites since there's been dating sites, just from the beginning. My username on eHarmony is just Brian. First one. I'm so old. I've been with the internet since the beginning. From the very beginning. I remember you used to Google something and nothing would come up. Google would just be like, whew, that's a tough one. We might want to ask Jeeves about this. I remember we didn't even need a password. You guys remember that when we just trusted each other? And then somewhere along the way, the internet's like, well, you really need a password. And we're like, okay. Let's make it at least 8 characters. Sure. How about uppercase and lowercase? Whatever. Let's throw a number in there. Fine. And then somewhere along the way, they just became bullies. Weak. This password's weak. It's terrible. I'm like, that's my grandmother's maiden name. It's awful. So Dad, my wife and I, we got married when I was 48. Now I'm 50, and we said, why stop now? So 3 weeks ago, we announced we're having our first baby. How about that? Why are we doing it? It's going to be a little girl, and she's due on April 8th, which I think is a good time because, March Madness will be over, and I really get into my brackets. So now when those senior living places call me, I say, do you have childcare? Do you offer childcare? I put it back on them. I got to get in shape now. I got to take care of myself. I'm 50. I'm having a child. We all got that one friend who's just way too into holistic medicine and way too into health food, which you need it. It's good for small stuff. Like, look, acid reflux, I'm fine with it. But when I got something serious, I need more than ragweed. I got a buddy who I could be shot and bleeding out. And he'd be like, have you tried CBD? I'm like, dude, call an ambulance. I'm dying. He's like, no, there's no THC in it. You won't get stoned. It's just CBD. Oh, my goodness. You guys are a fun group. I don't always, let me just say this. I bomb a lot. I recently did a show at a church, and I bombed terribly, and that really hurts because that's like you're disappointing God. And I was really nervous about it. I had to do an hour, and I'm like, I don't have an hour of material for a church. I was talking to Jonnie about it, and he said, well, if you get in a bind, just share your testimony. Because churches, they got to go for your testimony. And I'm like, but I don't have a testimony. I mean, I'm a Christian, but I'm just like the boring type, that's always been a Christian. So I get there, and I am bombing terribly. I mean, they hate me. And after 38 minutes, I am done. I'm just checked out. I'm like, I might even get paid. And I don't even know what came over me. I don't know if it was Johnny's words. I don't know if it was the Holy Spirit. Maybe it was Satan. But out of nowhere, I started sharing my testimony. And like I said, I don't have a testimony. So let's just say there's a little church in Mobile, Alabama that thinks I had a serious drug problem in the mid-90s. But with the help of the Lord, I got out of prison, got rid of these tats on my neck, and now I'm here tonight for you guys doing comedy. Folks, I'm Brian Bates. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you. Brian Bates, everybody. Give him another hand. All right. We'll be right back.
The Joe Beretta Foundation wants to give a huge thank you to our extremely generous sponsors. ServPro of Wilson County, Novatech, Matrix Medical Communications, Lawrence and Clark Cacti Company, The Standard at the Smith House. Thanks so much for your generosity. We could not do it without you.
The Heart and Home Holiday Show is not sponsored by political fights with your family. When you've had enough peace on earth and it's time to call Cousin Bobby a socialist while eating a turkey dinner, you're ready for political fights with your family.
Welcome back. My next guest is the Executive Director for the Joe Beretta Foundation. Please welcome Davy Shepard. So great to have you here. And so tell me a little bit about your role with the Joe Beretta Foundation and all that stuff and how that came to be.
Yeah, so I'm the executive director of the Joe Beretta Foundation. Lillian, the founder, is my mother-in-law. And I had some experience running nonprofits. And so obviously when she had the whole idea, I wanted to do everything I could do to help make it be a success. So we've been doing it for 5 years now. And we've just been able to help family after family kind of overcome this battle with heart failure and just stay in the fight. And it's a kind of a isolating thing where you feel alone. And we've been able to just work with those families to let them know someone's there with them.
It's so great. I can't imagine what it's like when you have a family member that's sick in this way and the way that you, like you said, you must feel alone and you must feel overwhelmed with the bills and all that stuff. Tell me specifically what you guys do to walk alongside the families.
So we go in with the families, and as soon as they get to the hospital, the social worker gets them an application, gets their information to us, and we're able to talk with them before the procedures have even taken place. And they know once we're here for maybe 2 months, maybe longer, this organization is going to be working alongside of us, making sure our bills at home are taken care of. Maybe it's making sure of short-term housing while they're here in a city like Nashville or a city like Pittsburgh getting treatment, making sure they have a place to stay. And just those things that, the stressors that are going to make your medical outcomes worse, we're taking care of those stressors so they can focus on getting healthier, feeling better, and then getting back to normal life on the outside. So emergency housing, short-term relief with bills at home, a healthy eating program that we're starting in Pittsburgh coming up in the new year that we're very, very excited about. These things that people just aren't able to focus on. You get this heart surgery, maybe a transplant or an LVAD implant, and then you go back home, and if you're going to eat McDonald's, you're going to eat ramen, and you're going to eat pizza, you're going to end up in the same place again. And luckily, we're able to partner with a great organization in Pittsburgh, Community Kitchen, and take care of those health needs that people are going to have when they're getting out on their new heart-healthy diet.
That's fantastic. And also, I know you guys have a long-term goal for your own house.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Papa Joe's House is like the vision of the organization. And we've been working towards that since we started it in 2016. And we are as close as we have ever been to just an extremely exciting announcement. So just be on the lookout for that. But Papa Joe's House is going to be a reality in the near term.
And this would be a place for people to stay while their family member is in the
hospital. That's exactly right. So people come for treatment. You're usually going to be in the city that you get treatment for somewhere around 2 months after the surgery takes place. So that's a really, really long time to be away from home. Bills are piling up there. You've got to pay for a hotel in a city like Nashville. It's very, very expensive, especially now that travel's kind of opened back up and everybody's doing that. So for us to have a place where families could stay for free in a safe, healthy environment with people who are going through the same thing, it's just going to be great for those medical outcomes, get them back on their feet faster.
Amazing cause. Tell me what we can do to help and give me specific steps we can take.
I think the main thing I want people to know is that it doesn't take some huge gift to change one of these families' lives. And we're in the season of giving, and I know you're all doing so much for people out there in your own lives, giving gifts and just bringing joy to people. But you know, $100 can drastically change someone's life. And so we've got kind of all ways that you can give. The first thing I would encourage everybody to do is join the 25 Club. that gives a gift of $25 a month every month, and you know that you're going to keep someone with a roof over their head that is experiencing heart failure. So join the 25 Club. And the other thing that we would ask of you is just if you can make a gift right now, there's going to be a QR code on your screen. Go and make that gift because it is truly going to change someone's lives. We were in the hospital for a number of holidays. It was Easter, it was their anniversary, all kinds of stuff. We were there, and it was almost 6 straight months Lillian spent every night in the hospital. And you kind of stop feeling like a human. You stop being able to just experience joy in the same way you are before. And at this part of the year, just being able to feel joy is so important to people and their mental health, and all of that stuff is just related to where their heart is.
Sense of normalcy.
Exactly. And so if you can give a gift right now, it's going to help us get Christmas presents to people. It's going to help us get more nights of stay for people. It's going to make sure that we can meet the needs that these patients have as we come into the end of the year.
It's so great, and I applaud you guys for what you're doing it's so interesting to watch like something beautiful come from a tragedy for this family, and now you get to reach and, like you said, put your arms around other families. So it's just so awesome, and you guys need to give as much as you possibly can tonight. Let's give another hand to Davey. It's just fantastic. What a great.
Thanks so much, man.
We are actually going to have another song. You guys ready for another Christmas song? We've got Knightley again, and you may have seen this next guy on The Voice. You may have seen him on Broadway. Welcome, Dez Duron.
I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. Oh, please have snow and some mistletoe and presents under the tree. Christmas Eve will find me where the love light leads. Yes, I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my yes, I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. Oh, please have some snow and some mistletoe and presents under I know that Christmas Eve will find me where the love light leads. Yes, I'll be home for Christmas, if only my dreams.
Another hand for Knightley with Dez Duron. That's our show for the evening. You guys have been a great crowd. Don't forget to check out the QR code where you can donate. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.